Yeah, you saw the graphic. You know what time it is, guys. Welcome back. You're watching the LPL English broadcast, of course, brought to you by Esports Heaven and Games in Asia. I'm Pyrotechnics, joined on the broadcast this evening by the awesome and talented Froskarin. Ready to get some games going. Are you ready, Frosk?
I am so ready for the Young Glory hype train.
Young Glory. Oh, this is a team. This is a team that has been on a hot streak. Definitely lately. They are certainly been... They can't afford to lose too many more, but they're certainly been on the up and up in their first match tonight against World Elite Academy. Definitely going to be favorites this time.
Yeah, but before that, I know you and I, Pyro, we talked about kind of opening this broadcast, how we wanted to talk about a little bit something different. We wanted to... We're far enough along in the season, what is it, week 9, day 1, that we wanted to finally talk about the world structure.
Yeah, it's only a couple of weeks away as far as the end of this LPL summer and the qualifiers is concerned. For everybody that might not be 100% on the world's qualifier system, it's perhaps the most complicated system in the world, of course.
To be as simplistic as possible, this is how it works. So Spring Split and Summer Split are the two splits that matter. Spring Split, of course, was dominated by EDG. They took first place at the end of it, and Invictus Gaming took second place. So back in spring, these two teams have invitation to the World Qualifiers. At the end of Summer Split, whoever wins, if it's EDG, they are automatically qualified for Worlds because they won both Spring and Summer Split. If EDG, exactly, if EDG does not take first place, say it's OMG, since they're right now in first place, there is a best of 3 semi-tournament between the winner of Spring Split and the winner of Summer Split. Whoever wins that is then automatically qualified for Worlds. So this could be anyone from World Elite to Starhorn World Cup to anyone who's already qualified for the playoffs.
But wait, there's more.
The loser drops down into a double elim bracket of what I like to call dark depression and despair. Effectively, it's
so
the
cheerful
loser.
today.
I know, right? It's the loser of that game plus Invictus Gaming because they already have the invitation from the Spring Split qualifiers and the top 3 seeded teams.
And of course, if it's not Edward Gaming, they end up dropping down because they have to play again to fight for the right to Worlds, punch that ticket. There are 2 more spots up for grabs if they do, however, win it. Well, either way, there's 2 more spots up for grabs because the winner of that first tournament will be the ones making it. So there's definitely a lot riding for these teams, and that means the top 4 spots are hotly contested. And for those of you guys who are not sure what is what just now, we'll go ahead and bring those over. Of course, in first place, it will be OMG at 22 points. Second place, Edward Gaming at 20 days. Since they play later today, they will have the chance to take that first place spot. And then in third is Starhorn, who will be their opponents, sitting at 19 points, have the chance to leapfrog over them. World Elite sitting in 4th place. And then Invictus is in 5th, followed by the remainder of the teams. But Invictus, they don't have to worry about anything. As you mentioned, they've already got their qualifier ticket. So we will be getting into these games in just a minute. First game on the road today will be, of course, Young Glory taking on World Elite Academy. As we get ready to get into picks and bans, Frosk, what do you expect out of these 2 teams today?
We are on the 4.12 patch. So first of all, yay, we're on 4.12. We made it, guys.
We just are within the window of being at about the same point in the world as everyone else.
Exactly. I believe that the general Chinese public is on 4.13, so solo queue and things like that, they have the most up-to-date patch, but the 4.12 patch started during Demacia Cup as far as competitive play is concerned. What's important about this patch and what's important about LPL, there are 0 banned champions in LPL. LCS, they'll disable people like Lucian due to his win rate when he got ridiculous, which this was the patch that it was on. They'll disable people like Shin, Rengar, and Xerath due to bugs. They'll disable new champions, or they'll give a grace period. LPL does not do that. Anything goes. Why this is important, particularly, I'm gonna bring up LGD because LGD's AD carry, XQ, was pretty much known for only playing Lucian throughout this split. Huge Lucian player. You have to think. 4.11, that patch was played on effectively a 1-week window, and LGD played 2 matches as well as OMG on that patch, so they only got 2 patches without or they got 2 games without their strongest champion being available to them. Who does this help? This helps Starhorn Royal Club immensely. You think what WEA is good at and what he's bad at. He's bad at flashing into 5 people. The fact that Lucian is available to him, we saw him pick it up in the Demacia Cup. He gets that 4-second dash anytime he wants, so expect to see that contested.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Of course, we are into our introductions of the players on World Elite Academy side. Up in the top lane, it's going to be Khan, also known as Hanbalong, if you remember him from Korea.
They have 2 Korean members on World Elite Academy. Like you said, it's going to be Khan. It's also going to be their mid laner, Mickey God. It should swing over to the jungle here, and this is going to be Soas. I'm pretty sure he still goes as Soas.
Champions.
Lee Sin.
Plays a lot of Lee Sin, although lately he has been favoring Jarvan. A lot of that's due to the fact that he hasn't been able to pick it up. If you're just joining us for the first time, Lee Sin is probably the most contested pick in China.
Oh, yes. Well, Jarvan has seen a huge spike in popularity in kind of the recent weeks coming. Mickey God for your mid lane.
He was jungling too for a little while.
Yeah, he jungled initially out of the gate. It was Xie that took over that mid position, and then you're like, oh, you know, things aren't really working. Let's switch it up a little bit. A big assassin player, essentially, is what he comes down to. The mentality for World Elite Academy is win lane, win game, and that stands very true for SMLZ, their AD carry, the Wei Xiao protege.
He's been prepping for the patch already with Lucian.
Lucian Tristana, I expect that Lucian will be... It should be the #1 contested pick. Other big things for this patch, Maokai top, which we've already seen initially out of the gate, and Alistar got his buffs this patch.
And we will be looking at the support player now. It is Yujie. Big Thresh player. All triple last 3 games have been on that. He also is generally a highly mechanically proficient player. One of the reasons why he likes to favor those high utility champions. You know, he's a pretty good player. He's replacing Ari, their old team captain, who's now casting.
Yujie is also the team captain now for World Elite Academy. So, you know, they've had a couple issues coming into the split where they stumbled due to shot calling issues, team synergy issues, things like that. They've had to deal with language barriers, obviously changing up their what was then their jungle, then their mid, and now their top lane. Yep. Young Glory on the screen now.
This is a team that has been very reverse of their fortunes, kind of very hanging on the edge of those playoff dreams. They could still technically make it based on the victories they've had recently, and those have been hard fought too. Big 2-0 wins over Edward Gaming, among others. I mean, that's not easy to pull off, and there, of course, is their support. It will be Yansur, rocking a newly shaved head. He's a pretty proficient player as well.
He's a very pretty player, too, with that shaved head. I thought that's where that sentence was going to end. I was like, yeah, Yansur.
He's a good-looking dude. This, of course, is the sister team to Invictus, so they have a little bit of relations there. Chen Long, the Dragon, although he favors Kog'Maw these days. I expect him to probably try to go for the Lucian pickup, if not just as a takeaway.
The reason why I really expect them to go for the Lucian pickup, we saw Cool played in the mid lane, and I would expect that this guy, Dian Goon, would be able to pick it up. China is really well known for their AD carries, and typically a lot of people have the mindset that it's the AD carries that really carry the Chinese teams, but there are a lot of really powerful mid laners that have recently kind of swung into LPL due to the fact that, you know, 2 out of the 8 spring split mid laners are the only ones remaining, so you have, you know, 6 new faces, and he is definitely a powerhouse among them. In the jungle, it's going to be Yinfu.
I like this guy. He plays a lot of interesting things. He was on the hype train with Skarner for a while, as was his sister team's jungler Illusion, but he's been playing Jarvan a little bit. He's okay. He's a good player. Somebody's happy about something, though. I guess if your name's #1.
He is #1. Now, the strong thing about Young Glory and what we see from them that we don't necessarily see out of other LPL teams, at least kind of in the recent weeks, I don't know if they decide they want to completely shift it up today, their pick ban phase is remarkably clever. They're very good at baiting certain picks that they want, and they're incredibly good at playing the map pressure game. So whereas other LPL teams are entirely focused on that team fighting, you know, I'm playing to counter pick, Young Glory has shown a different mindset and a different shift of gears in how they go about winning the game. And so far, like you said, they've toppled EDG, they've taken games off of OMG, they've done fairly well for themselves in the recent split. And all of this considering the fact that they went into it kind of pretty much self-defeated, saying, you know, we're doomed to relegation, we're not going to scrim anymore, we're going to entirely focus on streaming. So they had not been scrimming or practicing when they went on their hot streak.
Several times.
Exactly.
Yeah. Funny how that works out. And looks like they're targeting the mid lane right now with Yasuo Zed banned away as we get into this World Elite Academy on the red or blue side, excuse me. I'm like reverse colorblind. Maokai also banned away. They don't want to deal with that, and it makes a lot of sense.
Thresh, of course, being taken away from Yuzhe. You saw that straight Thresh across the board the last time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. Just because they don't want to deal with it. Young Glory has a pretty solid pick ban, I would say, which is also atypical of Chinese teams. They definitely seem to have a bit better strategic input on the game. You could equate them somewhat to Cloud9. Maybe not the most mechanically skilled players out of the pool that they're in, but they do have very good strategies.
And the playoff dream is still technically alive for Young Glory. They cannot afford to lose any games, and I believe that World Elite can also not win any games, and they would qualify.
Yeah, they need some help to make it happen, but they can start. Oh, there's the Lucian ban, so they don't even want to give that away. And I think that's a smart deal, too. Remember, Zhenlong did used to play Lucian. Ooh, that leaves Cassidy open. He played it, but he wasn't very good at it.
I was just going to say, the fact that I was really curious if they're going to allow Lucian through or if it was going to be a double ban from red side, you know, Cassidy and Lucian every single time, and then, you know, whatever pick you don't want to face. Cassidy on this most recent patch did face some nerfs. Of course, he's Cassidy, so he's still considered wildly OP on the global context. I believe his nerfs were to his slow percentage and some damage reduction.
Yeah, still going to be a pretty scary threat anyways, and Young Glory has to look at a way to deal with this. Now, considering Academy is more of a win lane, and they can take the really solid engages later on in the fight anyways, if they can hold out for the lane phase, I think they're confident enough to let this one ride, and they go for, looks like, still waiting on the top lane, but they are definitely favoring Kog'Maw again for Shenlong, and they go to Gragas.
I think this is really smart. Obviously, Maokai being banned away, that leaves Gragas open. Maokai kind of the pseudo-Gragas, or Gragas the pseudo-Maokai at this point. I feel like Maokai is kind of the go-to champion. That does leave Jarvan open. We did see the Skarner hover from Yanfu. Skarner has received nerfs since the last time he was played. It was a movement speed and damage reduction nerf. Not too bad, but not necessarily what you want to see out the gate.
Very quick Leona lock-in for Yushe.
Supports in China love to play hard engage. Support champions, you have to think that this is the region that was famous for support Annie. Kind of that flash forward, all engaged. They like to have the power there. You may have heard of him, Tabe.
Yeah, about that guy. Oh, they do want the Skarner, and they might get Alistar as well. They locked in very quickly for answer that. Now that's starting to look like a pretty scary bot lane.
This is, if they utilize this composition correctly, this is a direct counter to Cassidy. If you watched, I don't know if you watched it, Pyra, the, what was it, Whites versus S? Korean match?
The OGN third place match? Yeah, of course I saw that.
Exactly. The counter to Cassidy is the playstyle of dive. You dive Cassidy pre-level 5. And so picking up people like, although they switched out that Skarner who has huge dive potential, picking someone like Alistar makes a lot of sense, especially in the roam meta for China, because typically what they'll want to do with that Kog'Maw is they'll want to put him in a solo lane farm, do like a lane swap, and then have the support either stick with him, go down, buddy up with the top laner for a few levels, and then start roaming around the map. It becomes very dangerous for Mickey God to be in that mid lane with an Alistar in the game.
Very true. Evelyn is still a pretty scary threat if he ventures out into lane, and they decide to go for the Tristana pick on SMLZ, but this top lane, they're really deciding until the last second to lock it in. It is going to be Renekton. A bit of an odd pickup. You'd think Gragas would have enough zone to deal with that.
Well, the go-to that we've seen as far as
oh, wait just a minute.
I'm looking at the ribbon.
Yeah, I'm thinking, are we gonna have mid lane ribbon? Oh my goodness, Diangoon. Oh, I love this.
With the strength counter. He's very ZZ Tai-esque.
Well, it is the sister team, ZZ Tai. That's the next great band.
I went back to my old habits. Zitai, he's very Zitai-esque in his champion pool and his mechanical proficiency. And again, I cannot underline enough. Typically, it's the AD carry. Like on World Elite Academy, it is very much the AD carry-centric game. SMLZ has a fantastic reputation of being that powerhouse next Hui Xiao. Shenlong, not necessarily on the same level. It's very much about the mid lane, and it makes their gameplay very unique.
Yeah, Young Glory, straight counter-picking. They baited out the cast, and it's almost like they knew this was going to happen exactly.
It's almost like they've done this before.
I absolutely love this. Now, World Elite Academy doesn't seem too perturbed by it. getting ready to get into game. But they're going to have a rough landing phase, so what do they have to do to ensure that they get that critical dominance that they need in the early game?
So you have to understand that World Elite Academy are coming from the mindset of LSPL, where effectively it was win lane, win game as far as how they dominated it. That said, there is a very different roster, especially in kind of the power positions, the solo lanes, than what was featured in the LSPL, so you have a different mentality there. They're almost World Elite-esque in that they try to slow the game down. You also have to think that on this team composition, they have 2 hyper carries in the form of Kassadin and Tristana, so they don't want to fight. They want to survive the lane phase, and they want to, like you said, carry that over into that mid-late game and find their power spike there. They've had issues doing this, though. It looks like a lack of coordination, and it's really scary against a very aggressive team like Young Glory, who, if World Elite Academy are like World Elite, Young Glory is very much like Invictus Gaming and their early game aggression and their creativity about their compositions.
Yeah, and that's to be expected. Your sister team is going to be, first and foremost, your most likely scrim partner, as well as somebody who's going to inform you on strategy and has that information. Big brother, big sister, what are you going to do, right? Here we go. On to Summoner's Rift for our first game of the night. Guys, this is Week 9's Day 1 of the LPL, and we are getting to see World Elite Academy take on Young Glory. Can they keep the playoff hopes alive on the YG side? We'll find out as they load up and get into the line of scrimmage.
I'm on the Young Glory hype train for Worlds.
You know who isn't? Sois. He wants to invade. Take the flag.
He's be careful, though. He's playing with a Riven.
Yeah, he is. Dan Goon getting a little frisky. It's been a while since we've seen a Riven, and I am pretty excited for this one. So let's see how this game gets off to a start. No lane swaps, no shenanigans. This makes a lot of sense. Really no need to do it.
I feel it's very important for Young Glory to identify the win conditions of their composition, especially in the context of having Mickey God on Kassadin, and utilize that Riven and that Alistair. I think the reason that they're not going for a lane swap is because they did get the direct counter pick as far as the mid lane is concerned with that Riven. But if things go wrong, they definitely need to utilize Yancer's dive potential on a pre-6 Kassadin. It is very hard for Kassadin to get away.
Ooh, they're going for the collapse.
Speaking of getting away.
Forward, UJ. Oh, he has to burn his really quickly. He will get away, but that's a 1-for-1 summoner exchange, and UJ is going to have to back now. Still, it was a nice attempt. Academy.
I will say that Flash on Alistair is far more a key component of his combo than Flash on Leona. So there's that.
But it's going to reset at about the same time anyways. You know, you got 3 minutes on that one going down, and you can bet that Academy isn't going to go for any sneaky action now that that's already happened. It's sort of like just a insurance policy that nothing crazy is going to happen to start the game off. Young Glory in very confident move, swaggering into that bot lane.
Swaggering?
Mm-hmm. There's no Heimerdinger, but they can still swagger. There, you know what there is? There's also a Riven mid, and all of a sudden Mickey might have to back.
Wow, right out the gate. Did start the flash, though, so he's got a couple pots there. Keep him in this. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Did he have the shield up as well? I believe he did, so that was through his shield.
That was a Q combo right there. Well, it's not really a combo, it's just spamming Q 3 times.
Riven, right out the gate, level 1, gets 3 abilities.
Yes. Very, very good pick in this particular regard. Now, this frees up Yinfu a lot. He typically will try to snowball Dangun's lane, but this time, he's not going to have to. So, let's see what he does if he decides to, after he clears the jungle camp, maybe make a push towards the bottom. SMLZ UJ giving this Kog'Maw a little bit of a hard time right now.
They need to be very careful, though. Yushe, like you said, doesn't have that flash available, nor does Yancer. Yinfu on a champion with what's the word I'm going to use? Invisible pressure on the map? Invisible global pressure on the map.
There's pressure, but you can't see it.
They do assume that Yinfu was on the top side of the map because they know
that... see that, though. Sois does not like what he sees, and that's a flash forward out of Dangun. Can he get the chase on? Gets in, gets the ignite off. He wants those double buffs, and he gets them. First blood over to Young Glory at only 3.5 minutes. Ooh, this is looking very, very scary for Academy.
Oh, worst case scenario to happen to a jungler. We say that all the time, but obviously losing your double buffs at 3 minutes, 30 seconds into the game is disastrous. We do see Yinfu, though, now looking bottom. Now Leona doesn't have flash.
Well, we won't even have a chance because Mickey's still getting beat up on the mid. Oh, yeah. This is a really, really good timing to try and get the kill off. Do they just focus on UJ, though, because he's just the easier target at this point? They're just waiting for an opening. And this is, well, they're going to back away. Now, I will say this for Academy. Well, we'll have to wait because That was Diangun uncharacteristically going a little bit too hard in the paint, giving the double bust over to Mickey God. So that evens out.
The big issue, though, is that he didn't have any more pots available, whereas Cassidy still had the flask, so he was able to kind of heal up in between. He also had an advantageous minion wave to him, so that he immediately buys 3 longswords, but Cassidy definitely a breather of fresh air to get the solo kill, which frankly should not have happened. Huge mechanical misstep from Diangun right there, and puts Cassidy back in the game.
Speaking of mechanical missteps, this could be a problem. Yansur and Chen-Long trying to bail out as they get away, just barely. Summoner heal help with that one. And I will say this. For Academy, their AD carry, SMLZ, is definitely a more mechanically skilled ADC than Chen-Long. He's had some trouble, so let's see what happened on the mid again. Mickey goes back in. He's got a slightly higher health bar, and then before the combo gets... Oh, no, it gives off. Okay, so Mickey just lived through it. That was a complete overestimation. Yeah, now he might get answered back here, but he actually is going to expend his flash because he's not quite hit 6 yet. The creep aggro was a huge miscalculation.
He was in the creeps, and I don't believe he had a shield available. I think he misused the cooldown right before he made that engagement, so he didn't have any superficial health to protect himself against those hordes of minions.
Oh, he's not going to have a flash this time. Whoa! That's going to be one pick off. However, they follow it back up anyway, so both mid laners trade their lives, and the junglers are just sitting there. What do we do now, guys?
Very good counter gank from Yinfu right there to recognize that Soas was going to put the pressure on the mid lane. That was disastrous for a moment for Diangun because he had expended all 3 of his, wind slash combinations? I think that's her ultimate.
Oh, that's the ultimate. Broken Wings is what you're talking about.
Broken Wings combos into one champion. So she effectively didn't really have an escape. She had kind of her side juke with her shield, but she wasn't getting out of the flag and drag.
Well, you can see that she definitely wants to keep going for the... Diangun definitely wants to keep going for the extremely aggressive action and sustain up through it. Should be getting up to I want to say Ravenous Hydra pretty soon. Tiamat.
Well, he needs to, because the relevancy on Riven in that lane as far as how safe Cassidy... She'll always be able to kind of guard the farm line from Cassidy, but he's about to get level 6, which means that the kill potential on that lane drops drastically from Mickey.
Yeah. Well, at this point, the goal would be to just try to deny him as much as possible, and you're already double the farm anyways. Now, Yinfu is hanging around here looking for a pick, but so
and
is...
look at 17.
Yeah. I'm kind of a little
They recognize level 5 Cassidy.
They
very
find
easy
it.
to
There's
tower
number
dive.
1. Oh, Mickey, he's got nowhere to go. That's the wind slash, but in comes Khan. Can he follow up with the kill? No, that's a 1v3. Dominus will keep him alive for the time being. But that was a nice collapse.
Exactly. This is exactly what I was talking about as far as recognizing win conditions and how Young Glory is very unique in their playstyle. Whereas the rest of LPL is very much, they have a lot of people who like to find the 1v1 who are arrogant and conceited enough that it's like, oh, okay, I can go toe-to-toe with you. I can beat you just straight up in the 1v1. Young Glory will utilize playstyles like this and strategies. It's Cassidy in level 5. We can tower dive this easy, pull for the collapse, and sort of snowball. Yeah.
Well, the huge roam out of number 1 was pretty cool as well. I don't think they frankly expected that, and it wasn't enough damage. It wouldn't have been enough damage with just the jungler. So that was a little bit extra there, and Khan got a little bit too late to the party. Ended up paying for it. Now he's winning in farm, but that's that's a Renekton. What are you gonna do?
Pretty sure I just referred to him as 17, didn't I?
Yeah, that's okay. There's a lot of numbers involved.
Poor LGD.
17 was an android. I remember.
Too bad their 80 carry is only 15.
Oh.
Too soon?
Ouch.
Too soon.
Yeah, you're really, man. Yeah, those age restrictions. If LGD does somehow make it to Worlds, they won't be able to play with their ADC. But,
XQ is only 15 years
I think
old.
that might be the least of their worries right now.
Going back to the spot lane. It should start to see a swing of power back in favor of Kog'Maw as soon as he gets his ultimate available.
Farm even right up, and as you say it, there's the living artillery. SMLZ has to dash away of this. Ooh, Soist. Oh, the face check. Not really. I got myself a ward right in there. And that is why you always save your trinket ward for that side bush. Oh, solar flare, big time. They're going all into Chen-Long. However, getting the knockback, that was a nice move by Yansur, and that is why you take Alistar. Ignite is ticking away his health, but he'll survive to fight another day. Little Cog's going home to Fountain.
We did get both flashes, however, as well as the Ignite. Not quite sure if that went over one favor or the other. It kind of depends on if SMLZ is able to shove out this wave effectively and deny as much experience in gold as possible. Although we do see the stopped back from Shenlong.
Hello. Okay, so yeah, the mid lane has been getting a lot of attention this game. It makes sense from Academy standpoint because they need the help, but it's really been Yin Fu who has just been double timing buddy duty with Diangun, and Mickey's had so much trouble this game. Now 1 and 2 on both mid laners, but you got to think that Riven will scale a little bit quicker given the way things are going. And there we go. There's the combo prompting the Rift walk away. He's not going to be able to farm this out though.
Protecting that farm wave. However,
Ooh,
will it be enough to put Cassidy down?
He's going to find Soas, gets himself a ward. This means they're setting up for the dragon pick in just a bit, but Soas is going to see this coming a mile away.
See how Alistair roams as soon as he's level 6, so he has the ultimate available to him? Although, looks like it might be an engagement.
He wants to take the start of the fight. Oh, man. They're all inside the Cataclysm, but they can't even get the ward, and there comes number 1. Wow, he threw a barrel as he dashed. That was a really stealthy Gragas move. They're going to start the dragon up.
So they know that Khan's teleport is down, which is why they're making this call. SMLZ, of course, fresh out of the base, does have an item advantage. Great read from Young Glory. Obviously, it wasn't the plan to try to find a pick in the jungle. It was the plan to dive Kassadin immediately.
Again.
Exactly. Immediately, as soon as Alistair is level 6, has the 70% reduction of damage on his ultimate now flat across the board, so that's a huge buff right there. He also gets, free AD. It's time to dive Cass. We have the potential to tank the tower. Let's utilize it. Again, recognizing their win conditions, recognizing how their composition works, and using it effectively.
Well, they've managed to pull it off thanks to a number of factors, one of them being number 1, who has sacrificed a lot of his lane presence to just get in the face of Mickey. And, well, Diangun is appreciative for the help, but he's also forcing him back all the same. Soist hasn't been on that same level of participation this game. He's been trying, but he always shows up a bit late to the party. And he's spotted out by a ward. Oh, there's a Solar Flare landing once again, comboing up onto this Kog'Maw. He's taken low right now. Teleport's coming in from Khan, but he cancels it as they manage to get away. And meanwhile, the mid lane, 2v2 commencing. Sois going down. There's your broken wings. Mickey God looking for the chase onto this Riven. Might be able to take him with the Ignite. And oh, the shield. Oh, he stays alive. Mickey didn't chase quite so hard. And they managed to keep themselves alive. Blinking health bars. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, number 1's in a bit of trouble from Khan, but he's staying alive and keeping his tower the same. Ooh, the dive. Get back in tower range. You can't kill me when I'm under tower, right?
He does have Dominus available, and Gragas does not have Cask. Okay, he's not going to go for it.
But Academy is a little bit scared of committing too much in solos right now. I think it's just taunting him.
What's unfortunate is we talk again about that win lane, win game mentality, although, hold up, because Khan's doing a ridiculous amount of damage to his.
Khan has hit a pretty decent power spike. He's got the Tiamat finished, and now he's going to be able to push this wave. I think he should be able to take this tower out. So he's going to chase number 1 away from it. That's going to be the first tower of the game going over to World Elite Academy. But, he has not been able to make an impact in other lanes the same way number 1 has.
Very true, and effectively you're trading the global objective of the top tier, first tier tower with the dragon that was taken about 2 minutes previously. So just a swap of gold right there. The difference that we still see in the gold is, frankly, the kills, particularly in that mid lane, as well as a couple of CS differences, although mostly the CS favors World Elite Academy, particularly that top lane. Like you said, Khan, number 1, sacrificing a lot of his relevancy in that lane to help his team out.
Yeah, and with that first dragon controlled by Young Glory, the next one's not going to be, up anytime extremely soon. Academy has to find a pick and pushing on something here, and they are going to go for it. That is going to be an easy pickup onto Shenlong, who was a little bit out of position without the help of Yansur there. So I think that's just a little bit overconfidence from Shenlong in particular.
It was, Alistair was clearing a pink ward, so World Academy knew exactly where he was. There's actually a ward very deep in the jungle, and that's how you ward against Evelynn. You ward her camp, so you don't buy pink wards, because she comes out of stealth to do her camp, so that way you can see where she is. They had a ward on the blue buff ramp, so they were able to see where Yin Fu, and they made the correct read right there, saying this Kog'Maw's all alone, there's nothing he can do.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he pushed out a little far to get a bit of farm, too, and that's what I mean by he goes a little bit too greedy there. Now, you're going to see Yansur And Diangoon making their way down to the bot, trying to not get spotted out by the wards. A lot of vision being invested in this bot lane, and they're going to ping it out. They know exactly what's going on. But meanwhile, the mid, once again, leave for a second. Oh, I can farm. Oh, wait, JK, I'm back. Diangoon's scaring Mickey now.
See how Mickey God's able to handle the Cassinan as they come more into kind of the mid-game, late-game power spike. We're still relatively, you know, transitioning from early game to mid-game, which, of course, this is where Riven's going to shine, especially Snowball.
Speaking of shining, oh, that's Khan. His health bar is going way low right now. Here comes Mickey to try and help the fight up, but he backs off for just a moment. Khan taken very low. Dominus, though, he stays alive from that. That's going to be the Broken Wings not dealing enough damage. Here comes #1, however, and they're going to make a shove for this tower.
Cassidon's still relatively healthy, does not have any sort of wave clear or anti-siege on his composition, which is kind of an issue when you pick up Cassidon, although they will have SMLZ later down the road.
Oh my goodness, Soist, whoa. He got knocked all over the place. So, this is a huge push for Young Glory right now. They are kind of just throwing their weight around, and that's considerable weight when you have a giant fat man and a cow on your team.
Recognizing when their team composition is strong, that Riven is pretty much kind of in the highlight. She will be more of a hyper-burst assassin late game.
Although the counter engage is coming in. Whoa, that was a big knockup from Alistair. That's going to be Khan going down real quickly. Now they're targeting out Yujie, and they committed way too few resources to make this fight happen. Young Glory taking themselves a kill. However, they could get jumped on. SMLZ's around the side. Oh my goodness. Big jump in for the Cataclysm. That's going to be a pick up for Soist as they chase out the members of Young Glory. This could be a 4-kill, and it is. Oh, boy. That was a little bit too slow to react. This might result in a dragon now for Academy. They're low. It's 15 minutes. #1
this
has
might
to
result in a Baron.
I mean, yeah. Did I just call it a dragon? It's 15
okay.
minutes. I assumed it was going to be a dragon, and then I looked where we were.
15-minute Baron call.
Yeah, but #1's looking to try and change this. He is going
They're very low. He needs to get ahead. He doesn't have cask
Baron
available,
MVP
so he doesn't
here.
have the AoE.
Nope, he's not going to be able to pull it off. He's just going to back away from this one. Or is he? Oh, he tries for the steal. Not enough damage. Oh, boy. That was a huge mistake Young Glory made in sticking it out when they knew, they had to know that SMLZ was coming around the side. Here it looks great. Khan goes in, not enough resources, and SMLZ isn't even in the fight. Instantly melting Renekton. Then they turn onto Yujie, commit a lot to try and take him down, but he stays alive with the flash. And then they go in forward to secure it, decide to get cold feet. Don't go that way, go this way. Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
Beautiful solar flare from Yujie right there. He hit all 5 members, and then again, the mobility of the composition.
And the Tristana jump reset.
Having the resets on the rocket jump, you have the Riftwalk available to them, immediately transition it into the Baron. Possibly the worst place to die, at the Baron's doorstep, so Young Glory gets punished for their overzealous.
They will pick themselves up a dragon, but they have to play it a little careful now. That huge reversal of fortune has resulted in World Elite Academy getting themselves a gold lead as well as the 5-man Baron buff, so they will be able to push them around now. Young Glory has to just settle for taking these guerrilla warfare objectives for the next few minutes.
In the context of the Baron buff, all it really means is that the World Elite Academy members that were effectively losing lanes across the board, save for that top lane, suddenly are now going to win lane.
Or they could just get caught out. That's going to be Yenser. He's pretty big, but World Elite Academy looking for a side of beef right now, and they get it. That's a 4-man collapse for another kill.
I'll take it bloody, please.
Yeah, that was, I think, the same preference that they have.
Which is a huge thing, because, you know, they were effectively losing every single lane. They get a huge reversal on it. See if they're able to transition this into any sort of objective. We did see them take out 1 tower. Now looking at the 2nd-tier top tower, although lost 2nd-tier mid tower, so good move from Diangoon to play the pressure game. Likewise, answering it with the 1st-tier top tower.
Yep, and they keep on going here. Whoa! Big buster shot landing hard onto Zhenlong, who finds himself dead now. Back to Fountain for a few more minutes. That is #1 coming around the side, trying to make something of it. But again, SMLZ staying alive. Incredible mobility on this Tristana. Baron buff means he'll be fine in the next couple of minutes. Young Glory seems to have abandoned all strategy in their efforts to try and get back into this, and they're losing a lot of map pressure.
And this is the SMLZ that we've come have hyped up to us as far as World Elite Academy's entrance onto the stage. You know,
Oh yeah, 5-0.
the protege, the god tier 80 carry, 5-0-3 right now. Of course, a huge play on his roam to that mid lane. Although I want to point out Young Glory's Diangoon. During all of this, he has gone back to that split push method, which we saw popularized by him when he played Zed in his sets. He's very good at playing the map pressure game, which very few players in China really are. I think Cool is decent at it. Ninja is getting better, World Elite's mid laner, but Diangoon really stands out, especially for being a bottom tier LPL team.
Yeah, Diangoon is a fantastic mid laner. The issue, though, is he's not going to be able to get up to the level he wants without them starting to win a couple of these team fights, and Baron buff is scaring them away from it. They're trying to establish map control where they can, but it's very, very difficult. Now Khan is going to be able to throw his weight around as well.
The issue is the relevancy of his pick. Riven will be able to do decent burst damage. Obviously, if she runs against that AoE stun and kind of eliminates one squishy target, preferably SMLZ, but he has so many tools on his kit to deal with a Riven.
Or even Mickey, even so.
But she's not going to hyper carry like a Cassidy, like a Tristana will.
Yeah. Though they're just more preoccupied saving their towers right now. There's a lot of siege. It pretty much just SMLZ. And that's enough. Whoa, flashing forward. Soas is going to find himself a pickup.
Beautiful
Not quite
pass.
yet. Yeah, they get it again. Oh, man. One more kill. Riven trying to do all she can. Diangoon, can he carry, however? SMLZ does not go down, and they manage to get themselves 2 kills or none. Push continues for World Elite Academy. They're making the most of this Baron buff as it just expires.
Number 1 had been pretty hit and miss with his cast previously. He does hit a fantastic one for disengage as World Elite Academy tried to re-engage. However, talking about re-engage, Rift Walk, Cassidy.
It's hard to catch this team. You could see
Every
the
0.5
backline.
seconds.
A huge
Yeah.
backline dive out of Diangoon. It wasn't enough to accomplish the kill. He just abandoned everything. And that fight all got started on Gen Long, by the way, getting caught out. That's how most of these fights have begun for World Elite Academy. Young Glory inevitably turns to try and save their carry, and it just ends poorly for them.
This is effectively World Elite Academy's game to lose. I feel that Young Glory is pretty much on the back foot. They made fantastic work with that Baron, not only transitioning into winning their lane phase, but then transitioning it into global objective swings. Now have a 5k gold lead in their favor, as well as, 7 kills.
And
I can math, right?
This would be a pretty big win for Academy, too. They have not been able to pick a lot up lately. Now, they have won with a lot of big teams, Starhorn among them, in recent weeks, but yeah, they have yet to really show a dominant performance, and that big Baron call after the fight really has enabled them to get front and center in this game. So we'll see if they can carry that to a victory. If they do this as well, Young Glory, playoff hopes are dead.
That said, as far as in the context of what it means for World Elite Academy, it's not going to save them from relegation. Nor is it going to... They have no hopes of a playoff dream or a playoff run here, so this is effectively... Oh!
What's going on right now? SMLZ taking pretty low, and yep, that was going to be Diangoon trying to make a play. However, it's going to be SMLZ double timing it up with Soas to make sure that doesn't happen, and all he does is give another kill over to the World Elite Academy 80 carry. Meanwhile, Khan up in the top with number 1, chasing out the fat man. Run, run, run as fast as you can. There's a Renekton on your tail.
He's fine, he'll walk it out. He's got the belly buff available as well as his drink, as well as the cast, so if he felt he was ever in any sort of true danger, he would just bop Khan back. I think he was trying to bait out for Yancer to possibly make something here.
Doing drunk marathon running. You ever done that? It's a lot of fun.
I don't think I've ever run a marathon drunk.
Well, maybe not a marathon. I feel like it'd be bad for you after a while, but definitely like a 5K, like a fun run,
You've heard about those trolls? Because, the audience stands on the side of the marathon with, like, cups of water. But you do, like, cups of vodka, and you just see the runner's face when they just...
Some people just want to watch the world burn, huh, Frost? Is that you? Are
I
you one
would
of those
never
people?
do something like
yeah,
that.
I'll bet you wouldn't.
Just a little pick-me-up, guys.
I'll take mine with tonic water, please.
Can I have this carbonated?
Yeah. This
Cream
is,
soda.
This is going to be a pretty big Baron bait. Oh, they're not even baiting. They don't. All right, they're just doing it. Okay. And this is going to prompt a response from Young Glory, but you can see SMLZ realizes they're coming in for this, and they're trying to stop this one. This is taken pretty low, however. 23 minutes, the Baron's getting bursted down, but they might have scared them off of it. World Elite Academy are running away from this Baron, but Khan pops his dominance around the side. Where did he come from? He's on the wrong side of the team.
The
Oh boy, they
Unbreakable
recognize
Will.
that. Here we go. They might actually finish him. He's not got a slice and dice. He's got a flash, though, and he uses it to get over into the Baron pit. But Baron is angry, and this would be the chance for Young Glory to try and make a play here. Are they going for it, though? Looks like they're going to disengage.
The dream is alive. Season 4, Young Glory.
Season 4, Young Glory.
The camera wasn't panned over there, but I believe Yan Sir walked through where Renekton, where Khan was hiding, and he popped his Unbreakable Will. Likewise, Dominus was also popped as Khan got cut out on the backside of the Baron.
Oh, this is an extremely aggressive call. Extremely
here
greedy.
Comes the mid lane push.
All it needed was a cancel teleport to stop that. Yeah, now this is going to mean SMLZ Khan and the rest of the friends are going to be able to push this one up pretty quickly. SMLC has an insane amount of wave clear. 8-0 Tristana has such attack speed. Now they're not going to be able to finish that, but that's teleport burned as well for number 1.
The bravery right there, which it's okay for him to burn the teleport here because there's actually a slow push wave on the bottom side of the map. So at least for the moment, there's no pressure for Gragas to be utilizing the map.
That's true.
They have to be careful though because the first tier tower is still there, so eventually this will shift backwards. If that times with this teleport being up is kind of the tell for what's going to happen.
Meanwhile, Dragon gets pretty easily picked up. Oh, Young Glory, they're going to try to rush the Baron down again. They are seriously full of Baron syndrome tonight. This is absolutely crazy that they're rushing this down while the Dragon was being done. If they can manage to pick it up, it would be huge. Answer is trying to stop them from fighting, but that is going to be a giant solar flare landing on everybody from Young Glory. This could be trouble right now. Yujie making a move, Mickey staying alive. That's going to be the sacrificial play coming out of Yin Fu. 1 down, and they don't realize the Cog is up here. But if they catch him, this could be lights out. Going to try to stealth back. That's going to be Soas. Oh boy, he finds him, and he should be able to take him down. Flag and drag in for another kill. 2-0. And now the Baron should go over to World Elite Academy. Or will it? Number 1. Can he get the steal?
There is the potential to steal. Obviously, the smite is not available, nor is the cast, but Riven's ultimate is just about to pop back up. Does not have vision. Looks like everyone's going to actually back off.
Not feeling brave enough.
Okay.
So for the second time, they give it up on a bad fight.
I'm positive that there's going to be a replay of this. Big thing to watch, obviously, is the stacking of the ultimates between Yushe and Soas. That was the most beautiful solar flare into Cataclysm I've ever seen. And even better, okay, here we go.
Speak of it. Here we go. Yeah, we'll wait for that moment. But here, they all group. There is your instant solar flare. Instant Cataclysm.
It's a chain
And then he
CC.
flashes away and says, okay, you guys got this. That was a really good Gragas barrel. Otherwise, it would have been an easy ace, or at least a quadra. But as it stood, they still managed to get quite a lot out of that, and then just chase down 3 more members of Young Glory. So 3 kills and a Baron in their pockets. They're going to be feeling pretty confident right now. Definitely their game to win.
I also want to point out the cheeky play from Mickey God. You saw that he actually popped the Zonias in the pit, and that's because Baron had still been aggroed, so he would have effectively lost a lot of his health. Probably would have been taken down to half health just from standing in the pit, so he Zonias long enough for the Baron to stop aggroing, to wait for his cooldown to come back up for Riftwalk to re-engage the fight.
Oh, why not,
so
right?
I thought that was very
okay,
clever.
this could be an SMLZ shutdown, and it is. Dan Goon gets the first kill onto that Tristana, and I don't know if it's going to make a difference at this point, but that is going to be a confidence booster at least.
It does say that, you know, all of your gold, or at least a large majority of your gold, is on this one champion, and we do have a way to deal with that champion. We always talk about how the Fed AD carry is fantastic, especially for China, but it doesn't necessarily mean much if there's a Fed Zed, if there's a Fed Riven, if there's a Fed Jax.
Zed's Fed, baby. This time it's Riven. Well,
Zed's
not that Fed.
And Dan Goon, again, playing the map pressure game. They took out the big carry for the team. They don't have the teleport available, so they send down the next most mobile duelist champion.
Yeah, Young Glory is actually playing this out very smart. The biggest issues is just they've been caught and capitalized on so many times that it's become really rough for them to stay relevant. Every single time that they have been found out by World Elite Academy, it's just come up on a huge objective. You could call it bad luck, you could call it bad positioning, but this time their decision-making is definitely a little bit smarter.
And look at the read from Diangoon. He hides in the brush and he waits to see who's going to be responsible for pushing the wave. He sees that it's Khan. I can't assassinate this. I'm just going to go ahead and back group with my team. Young Glory is doing a great job of moving underneath the waves and utilizing their vision, or at least what vision they previously had. I believe all their wards have now died. And creating pressure points on the map, forcing World Elite Academy's Baron to respond to the pressure points instead of focusing their strength into more objectives. Although here comes the 1v1.
Yep, and I don't know if this is the smartest thing to take. Oh, it wasn't a 1v1, it was a 2v1 surprise. Here's Yinfu and Khan. Oh, he could stay alive, and it's not going to be the case. However, they did answer up in the top. Number 1 went down to SMLZ, and the tower push is on. So apart from the fact that Academy is still committing 4 members to this top push, it's working okay.
They gank the teleport so they don't have to deal with the split push. This now gives them free reign to hard engage. If they choose to and see a situation that they like, they're still dealing with the Baroned up Mickey God, as well as the Cataclysm Solar Flare.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of trouble right now for Young Glory to handle. Mickey goes in, and he finds himself Zhenlong. That is a Kog'Maw taken pretty low. Cataclysm in, and he doesn't have a flash to burn. He falls down. That's going to be the fight now. Yancer and, oh boy, Yinfu going down. That's going to be Yujie too. They are getting themselves quite a lot of damage there. So he might stay alive. He might go down, actually. He stays alive. No, he doesn't. Oh, I'm wrong. Everything I say is wrong. Don't listen to me, guys. Yet another kill picked up by SMLZ. And this is just too big, too much damage for Young Glory to handle as the next inhibitor, one inhibitor will fall down now. 29.5 minutes is the first inhib. I'm actually surprised at that with the amount of damage that's being dealt by SMLZ, but they're starting to fire away on Nexus turrets, and this could be the dead dream for Young Glory, Frosk. Playoff hopes riding on this game.
The dream is dead. World Elite Academy played their heart out this game. They made fantastic 2 Baron calls back-to-back. Yancer looking for the home guard re-engagement, isn't going to find it. Again, SMLZ 12, 1, and 5. He's the hard carry for his team. He is on that hyper carry champion. He made a fantastic play in that mid that led to the very first Baron swing, so this has been the game of his life.
Yeah, you think game number 2, they might just ban it away, but I don't know, it may not matter too much at this rate.
There's no option to ban it away. I feel that we complimented Young Glory on their pick ban phase, which I still feel was played very well. They understood their win conditions. I feel that this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Kassadin and Tristana in the context of what happened to swing the power. Yes, they could never allow this situation to occur where they got to the late game, which technically it's not late game, although they've been given so much free global objective gold and kill gold that that's effectively, you know, a 16-minute Tristana running around at 30 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's more of the problem, is the massive amount.
Exactly. It was a terrible overcommit on that mid tower, so I feel like this Young Glory, or World Elite, played the counter. World Elite Academy played the counter engage fairly well, but I feel like this game is still more to the fact that Young Glory played this incredibly poorly in 2 major instances.
Well, yeah, you can pinpoint the 2 fights that resulted in Baron pickups for Academy have really been their heyday of pushing. And you've got Dangoon trying to split push his little heart out right now, but it seems like it's just too little too late, and they're slowly getting pushed in. The 5v4 is happening right now, and they're just pushing away on the tower. So confident they can take it, so it's going all forward onto Zhenlong, and they're just diving under the Nexus right now. It's going to be another pickup, another 2 pickups. Can they find number 1? They can. It's number 3. Kassadin gets himself a triple kill, and they go all the way forward with the newly backed Dangoon. It's only Yancer standing, and this is surely going to be game, Frosk. World Elite Academy, they are looking very, very strong, but it was a huge set of mistakes, or a small set of huge mistakes. Young Glory definitely lost in this game.
Beautiful play from World Elite Academy. They recognized where they had the counter engages. They made the right calls at the right time, and under a pressure situation came up big. You are correct. The Young Glory Season 4 World's Dream has died with this Nexus.
Officially. And that's Zanya's Hourglass at the last moment. So that will
Can we talk about the amazing... I always love pointing this out because, again, for the Western world, the context of the Chinese playstyle is pretty much LMQ. I always go back to the Banshee Veil, Syndra Nami pop that LMQ pulled on Cloud9 and how amazed everyone was that they had the... It was pretty much the exact perfect way that those 2 abilities had to interact together to make that play happen. The Cataclysm Solar Flare, like that seems like a very easy thing to pull off. It's 2 AoE ultimates, you just kind of stack your R buttons right there. What was beautiful about it was the perfect chain CC that led up to it, and of course I'm referring to that Baron Pit fight, the second one. What happened was it was a perfect flag and drag, and as everyone was up in the air, the Solar Flare had started its animation because of course it has that slight delay before it actually procs the stun. As soon as they hit the ground, so Yushe timed that Solar Flare perfectly, that as soon as they hit the ground, they were immediately then stunned. and Jarvan makes the call to flash out, knowing that he's now in the line of fire. The fact that this is the bottom tier Chinese team, completely dead last, and they're able to perfectly utilize that set of abilities speaks volume about the rest of the world globally and their team fighting presence.
Yeah, team fights in China definitely on a different level. However, the other strategic elements a little bit lacking. I think the pick ban phase was definitely a lot better for Young Glory, despite the fact that they did let the cast in through. And you're right, he wasn't the huge problem. It was SMLC's gigantic monster Yordle. But they weren't able to really translate that into anything because they just got outfought by Academy every single time. And those two big pivotal fights that resulted in Barons were huge because of that. So that's one game down. World Elite Academy, Young Glory, not a lot to play for either of these teams. But when we come back, we will be getting into the second game of that particular set, and we'll see who triumphs out of that. And of course, later on, we will be seeing Starhorn Royal Club taking on Edward Gaming. But we're on a quick break, so guys, please enjoy the commercials. We'll be back in just a moment. You are watching the LPL English broadcast.
每天动一动，每天打声笑，每天睡个饱。还有天猫蜂蜜柚子茶，蜂蜜带来健康，柚子带来美丽，健康美丽喝啥哟？天猫蜂蜜柚子茶。